I'm Molly Cunningham. I'm a sophomore geology major. I'm graduating in 2021. I've been with Science Ambassadors for about a year, and I can't wait to do the next one. I've always loved science. As a geology major, I loved rocks, I loved exploring in the mountains, but I always wanted to know more, and I always wanted to get more people feeling as passionate as I did when I was younger. So the idea that I get to do outreach to kids that were just like me, loving science and loving rocks especially with my geology presentations, is what first got me into applying for Science Ambassadors.
It's a really good idea.
So we did a 3-part fossil presentation where first the kids got to know what fossils meant and what they are, then they got to make their own fossils, and then they got to examine real live fossils like a paleontologist. So they were looking at trilobites 400 million years old and touching them in their own hands and taking them home to their parents. I wanted kids to realize that fossils tell a story. So you can pick up a rock off the ground and be like, oh, it's just a rock, but there are millions of years of history in each rock, and in fossils, you can see that clearly in the imprint of the animal that used to live and move and do things just like you do now. It's a snapshot back in history, and I wanted kids to realize that and be able to hold it into their hands and feel how awesome that is, just like I do. At first they were very confused. Some of them didn't even know what a fossil was, but as they got to realize, oh my gosh, this is how we know about dinosaurs like T-Rex and Triceratops, they got more and more into it. Even if the geology concepts weren't their favorite, they loved how it connected to something big and cool like a dinosaur. I learned that kids, even if they don't know exactly a lot of the scientific concepts that maybe a college-age student would, even a high school-age student, they have that passion inside of themselves. And sometimes it takes a little bit of pushing to get it out there, but once you give them something they like, ooh, a dinosaur, and you attach the science to it, it's like they find that passion for science as well. And, as a kid, I was always taught, dinosaurs, oh, that's common knowledge. Everyone knows how a dinosaur, how we know about them through fossils. But to realize that some kids didn't get that, and then I got to teach them I got to see that special moment where they saw, we know what a Triceratops looks like from a fossil, like the one I'm holding. It was that magical moment where I remember feeling how awesome it was to learn that as a kid, and I got to teach a kid that. It's that was really cool. So those memes where it's we don't know what dinosaurs look like, so they can technically look like this. I really like the giant parasaur, the ones that have the big long fin on the back of their head, and it has Pantene hair. So I would like it to be bright green, both blonde hair like me.